Hey everyone, my name is Dan Burke and I'm here to talk about the DOT Blitz Week. This year, September 9th through the 11th, normally somewhere in May, June, TBD every year. So we'll do a who, what, where, when, why of it. So who is anybody in a commercial vehicle. We're thinking of it as trucks, but it's also buses, straight trucks. If you have a private fleet, those guys are also subject to inspection. So what is it? It's a checklist. And the DOT officer will go through it with usually one central theme. This year it's on brakes. And they'll look at hours of service, they'll check their brakes, they'll check their trailer, they'll check the engine, they'll check all that stuff to make sure everything is running the way it should be, illegally. Where it is, it's held within the US and Canada, and it's usually on major freeways and highways. When is it? Like I said, normally it's in May or June. This year we're looking September 9th through the 11th. And why? It's for your safety, for your family's safety, and for your friends' safety. We want to make sure that you're safe. And that's what this is for. To you as a shipper, this has two effects. It's going to impact your capacity, and it's going to impact the transportation of your freight. So for capacity, there's a thing that the DAT likes to measure, which is called the load to truck ratio. And what it measures is how many loads are available within the United States to every truck that is available within the US. So normally, that ratio is around 2 to 2.2. Right now, we're looking at a 5.69 load to truck ratio. So in this current market, this event is going to impact us significantly. So we're going to say about 5% of capacity is going to come off the road, either because of their own terms and they don't want to deal with the mess that is the DOT week. They don't want the fines that can come along. They don't want the hours issues. So they'll come off on their own. Or sometimes, May, June, it's a nice vacation, but we'll say 5%. So let's do the math here. Let's say that there's 5,690 loads available. And we have 1,000 trucks for those 1,000 or for that 5,000 plus loads. What that means is we have our 5.69. Now, if we take off 5% of capacity, now we're looking at 950 trucks. So when you do the math on this, all of a sudden now, you're looking at 5.99 loads to truck. And that's a significant difference. Remember before I said the average is between 2 and 2.2? We're already looking at a bigger variance there. So it's a huge difference. So now we mentioned the capacity crunch. Now we're gonna talk about pickup and delivery issues. Normally a driver is required to take 10 hours off, and that's part of the hours. Now, let's say a driver's pulled over by the DOT. The DOT checks their logbook and they realize, okay, this person has only taken 8 of their 10. If the DOT finds that, they'll shut down the driver and say, nope, those 8 hours don't count. You need to take a brand new 10-hour break right now. So they have to take their 10 hours off. That'll impact you if your driver's on the way for pickup, if they're on their way for delivery, because all of a sudden, if they were running tight, now you're looking at not being able to pick up that afternoon. Now you're looking at picking up or delivering the next morning. And if you're picking up from a giant manufacturer or delivering to a giant retailer, a lot of times that doesn't mean the next day. That means you need to reschedule. And if you're talking about Walmart, if you're talking about Target, major retailers, you're looking at must arrive by 5. And that's gonna impact you or your bottom dollar. Now we'll talk about another hypothetical. You have a driver who just got empty at 2:30 and your shipper closes at 3 o'clock. They check their GPS, 25 minutes, they're feeling great. They call you, hey, I'll be there 2:55. And then all of a sudden they see a nice stop on the highway, take a look around, it's DOT Blitz week. This isn't a 5-minute deal. This isn't like when you get pulled over by the police and they ask for your license and registration. DOT officer has a long checklist that they're gonna go through. They're gonna inspect everything. It's not realistic that they're gonna be there for that 3 o'clock cutoff, and now you're looking at having to reschedule your load. Again, hitting that issue of the must arrive by dates, or even just if it's a super hot load that's gotta go so that your customer can keep their production line moving. That's it for the overview on the DOT Blitz Week. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we have the DOT website's link in the comments below. Thanks, guys.